In this section of the show, I want to highlight some free plugins or samples that I think are really useful. This one's been around for ages, it's iZotope Vinyl, but the reason I'm including it this week is because it's just been re-released in its 64-bit format. That means that it will run in all modern DAWs, all modern operating systems, shouldn't have any problems, and you won't need to use the dreaded 32-bit bridge. With the 64-bit version there's also a spin down function, so that you can emulate what happens when your vinyl deck is turned off. For those who's never tried vinyl, this is exactly how it works. It basically emulates the dust, mechanical noise, wear, warp and acoustic properties of old vinyl records, and you can choose the different year that you want to emulate and adjust all of those properties. So let's have a play. See how well that works on a sort of traditional piece of music, but it can be also used to dusty up vocals and give a little bit of bite and edge to things as well. This is just a news broadcast that's been taken off the TV.
For Ukraine. I mean, if you look at the Financial Times, they say the upsurge of violence there has taken the protests to a new level, and I've spent a lot of time in Kiev over the last few months. It's very clear that now
get a sort of old gramophone effect.
Political accommodation, but beyond that, it needs to move forward on the economy. I mean, the EBRD is the biggest single foreign investor in Ukraine. We
can make even that boring financial information sound more interesting. This is the section in the show where I like to show you some samples and plugins that you can get for absolutely nothing at all, completely free. First off, Samplephonics. Now, they've told me that they're releasing a free ARP pack of WAV files. That's coming up very soon, hopefully by the time this show is released. However, aside from that, you can head to their website and click on any one of their hundreds of different collections there and download a selection of sounds and WAV samples. There's absolutely loads to choose from there and available in all sorts of genres, so check that out. Next up, a very generous offering from composer Oliver Codd. He's been developing a special guitar library which is full of acoustic guitar noises and rhythms, taps, scrapes, emulated drums, that kind of thing. It runs in Contact and it's called E-String. Now you can pick this up free on his Facebook page, just search for Audio Ollie, that's O-L-L-I-E, and please while you're there do subscribe to his YouTube channel in return, that'd be really appreciated. Lastly on the freebie list this week is a special bundle from Sonniss.com. Now this might not be something which you've heard too much about because it's more related to video games than it is to composing. However, there are loads of sounds in this enormous bundle which would be really suitable for all sorts of uses. You've got field recordings, you've got affected vocals, sound effects, all different sorts of things in there. Now, this particular library is being offered completely free and it's 14 gigabytes large, which is absolutely huge. They did a similar library last year, which was 10 gigabytes, but they've topped themselves here. Now, a little bit difficult to find this pack. It's actually been released for the Game Developers Conference 2016 as a kind of promo for Sonniss.com, but I'll give you the address. It's www.sonniss.com/GameAudioGDC 2016, and you should be able to find that sample library there and download all of those fantastic sounds. The next collection of samples is something I came across on a Facebook group and it was recommended by Bruce Knight, so thank you very much to you, Bruce. The samples have been released by the Centre of Arts and Technology at Seoul National University, and it's a whole bunch of Korean instruments running in the full version of Contact. They also run in Live samplers and Logic's EXS24 sampler. There's 23 different instruments in total, and you've got ethnic Korean strings there, percussion and wind instruments too. None of these instruments are very big or very fancy, but they still have different articulations and key switching on board as well. You'll find that some of the tunings are unique. I've downloaded some of these instruments myself and had a play with them, but that's really what makes them authentic. So there's a huge variety there on the website, completely for free. It's a little bit difficult to find with the Google search, so you'll have to go down to the description and have a look for the link. Next up, it's Freefall by Soundethers. This is a texture and cinematic underscoring package with 18 patches for the full version of Contact. runs in at 173 megabytes in 24-bit format. So go to the website in the description below or check out soundethers@gmail.com. Just drop them an email to request your copy. Lastly, I had a lovely email from Noah Horowitz, who alerted me to something he's been working on called the Alpine Project. Now basically what he's doing is he's taking some fantastic sound fonts and kind of underused sound libraries from around the web, and he's wrapping them up into the Contact engine, and at the moment there's a good selection of orchestral brass and winds. So far there's English horn, bass clarinet, French horn, trumpet, and he's just released a trombone library as well. They're small Contact instruments, so I wasn't expecting much from them, but they do sound quite authentic, especially the versions with a little bit of reverb applied. So again, have a look in the description for the link for those. It's a very short free VST section this week, as there's just one thing I need to say. It's Computer Music Magazine Freeware Edition 2016. This is a fantastic collection of plugins with a cover-mounted DVD. You've got loads of different sounds on there. You've got effects plugins, reverberation, saturation, synth plugins, all sorts of different things. These aren't just freebies that have been culled from the internet. They're specifically designed in most cases for computer music. So head out to your local newsagent. You'll pay only £6.25 for this particular issue, which is an insanely cheap amount for the amount of freebies that you've got on board. Lastly, I want to give a shout out to the VST Buzz website. Those who are familiar with the Samplecast and VST Buzz will be well used to their deals that they have every single week over there, but they also have a huge freebie section as well. So there are trombones, free cello, glockenspiel, flute, pianos, drums and cinematic sounds, all sorts of different packs from different developers. And one particular pack which I really like is called Prodion Short Noise, and it's 6 gigabytes of electronic sounds and pads, soundscapes, effects, that sort of thing. I actually use this myself on quite a few different tracks, so I'll definitely have a look at that.